At 11:04, the porch has gone mostly quiet. The last car on the street has already passed, and the porch light makes a small yellow circle near the door. She stands there for a moment, still in the sweater she put on without thinking, one sleeve pulled down over her wrist like her own hand needed a little shelter. All day, her hands had been useful. Holding instruments. Passing gauze. Writing things down. Washing, reaching, helping, answering, staying kind in rooms where other people were nervous. Then home had asked for her too, in the quiet way home does, with dishes in the sink, a hallway light left on, someone's breathing to check before morning. Now she is between the outside air and the rooms that need her. The house does not ask a question. It only holds what words cannot. And maybe that is why the sleeve feels so gentle. Not special. Not beautiful in any obvious way. Just soft fabric over the wrist, a small place where the evening stops pressing so hard. She looks down, then slowly pulls the other sleeve to match it. No hurry. The body catches up a little. The doorway has a way of knowing when someone is not quite ready to come in. Not in a strange way. Just in the ordinary way a door holds two kinds of air at once. Behind her is the porch, the soft dark, the streetlight shining on the edge of the yard. In front of her is the house, low and waiting, with its quiet rooms and the small evidence of everyone who has been living there. A pair of shoes near the mat. A cup left too close to the edge of the counter. The faint sound of the refrigerator beginning again. Nothing is dramatic. Nothing is asking to be named. But after a day spent helping other people open their mouths, hold still, breathe through discomfort, answer questions, and leave with instructions folded into their hands, even ordinary silence can feel full. She does not step all the way in yet. Her hand rests near the frame. The sweater sleeve has slipped down over her wrist again, and she notices it because there is nothing else moving. The fabric covers the place where the skin feels tired from washing, from gloves, from the careful work of being steady. It is not a grand comfort. It is barely a comfort at all. Just wool or cotton or whatever soft blend has survived enough laundry to belong to the house. Still, it is there. The sleeve does what no one has asked it to do. It covers. It warms. It stays. Some evenings are heavy because of one clear thing. A difficult phone call. A bill. A worry that sits in the chest and will not shift. But other evenings are heavy because of too many small things stacked together until the body cannot tell them apart. Someone needed care before breakfast. Someone needed a ride. Someone needed a calmer voice. At work, patients came in nervous, late, apologetic, distracted. At home, there were the usual little needs, the kind no one means to place in one person's hands, but somehow they arrive there anyway. By the time the porch light is the brightest thing around her, she has already answered more than she can remember. So the quiet is not empty. It is holding what was not said in the car. It is holding the sentence she almost spoke at the sink. It is holding the feeling that came and went while she checked on someone sleeping, then stood still long enough to hear their breathing settle. The room beyond the doorway does not fix any of it. It does not reach out. It does not explain why the day felt harder than it looked. It simply waits. And there is something gentle in that waiting. She looks down at the sleeve again. One wrist covered, the other still bare. The difference is small enough that it could be ignored. On another night, she would not notice. She would walk in, turn off a light, move a glass, rinse a dish, set the alarm, check the hallway, and keep going until sleep took whatever was left. But tonight her attention stops there. One sleeve over one wrist. One small, uneven softness. The outside noise has moved farther away now. A car turns somewhere beyond the trees. A dog barks once, then stops. Inside the house, the rooms seem to breathe in their sleep. The day has not disappeared, but it has thinned a little at the edges. She takes the other cuff between her fingers and pulls it down slowly. Not because it matters. Because for once, nothing has to matter in order to be allowed. The second sleeve slides over her wrist. Both hands are covered now, loosely, gently, as though the body has been given a small permission to arrive after everything else arrived first. She stands there another moment. The porch behind her. The house before her. The sleeve warm at the wrist, she steps inside the house the way someone steps into a room that has been waiting longer than it meant to. The door closes softly behind her. Not all the way at first. It catches against the weather strip, and she has to press it once with her shoulder. The sound is small, a quiet click, but even that feels louder than the porch did. Inside, the air is warmer. It carries the faint mix of dish soap, hallway dust, and whatever dinner used to be before it became leftovers under foil. She stands with her back to the door. For a moment, nothing moves. The porch is behind her now, but not gone. A little of the night still clings to the sweater, a thin coolness in the fabric, a trace of outside air near her sleeves. She can feel both wrists covered. The cuffs sit unevenly, soft around the bones, almost childish in the way they make her hands look smaller. She does not mind. Across the room, a lamp has been left on. Its light reaches the wall, the arm of the couch, the corner of a blanket that someone dropped and did not fold. The whole room seems to be holding its breath, not because anything is wrong, but because late-night houses know how to quiet themselves around sleeping people. She listens. There is the refrigerator. There is the low hum of heat or air moving through a vent. There is a floorboard settling somewhere down the hall. These are not messages. They are only sounds. But after a day of answering to alarms, names, appointment times, questions from patients, the ring of the office phone, the soft scrape of dental tools being laid back in their place, sounds that ask nothing can feel almost kind. Her bag is still on her shoulder. She forgot about it until the strap presses into the same tender place it always does. She slips it down carefully, as though the bag itself might wake someone, and sets it near the wall. The office badge attached to the zipper turns once, catches a little light, then rests face down. That part of the day is done. Not erased. Not solved. Just placed on the floor for now. She looks toward the hallway. Before anyone else wakes in the morning, there will be things to do. Maybe coffee. Maybe a lunch container to rinse and refill. Maybe a reminder to write down. Maybe someone's medicine, someone's appointment, someone's question asked from a half-open bedroom door. The next responsibility is not far away. It is only sleeping, but right now, it has not arrived. Right now there is the doorway, the lamplight, the sleeve over her wrist. She walks toward the living room slowly and notices the room the way she rarely gets to notice it. Not as a list. Not as something that needs to be restored. A pillow leaning wrong. A receipt on the side table. A phone charger trailing across the floor. A pair of socks under the edge of the chair. The house is not neat. It is lived in. And there are evenings when that difference feels important, though she would not know how to say it out loud. Mess can feel like proof that everyone has needed something. A chair used. A cup emptied. A blanket pulled close. A light left burning because somebody meant to come back and didn't. She bends to pick up the blanket, then stops. Her hand is already reaching. The motion is familiar. Automatic. Part of the quiet machinery of care. But the sleeve has slipped farther over her fingers, and the fabric brushes the blanket before her skin does. That small delay changes the moment. She does not lift the blanket yet. She lets her hand rest there, sleeve touching fleece, fabric meeting fabric in the dim room. There is no reason to pause. There is also no reason not to. Her shoulders lower a little. The room seems to hold what words cannot, the way it held it from the porch, only closer now. It holds the tired patience from work. It holds the careful smile she gave when she did not feel cheerful. It holds the private worry she put down whenever someone needed her. It holds the part of her that keeps going because stopping would make everything feel too visible. The sleeve stays over her wrist. A small covering. A small mercy that does not call itself mercy. She finally lifts the blanket and folds it once, not well, not completely. Just enough to move it from the floor to the couch. Then she leaves it there. The room accepts that too. Down the hall, the house grows narrower. The living room light does not reach very far. It fades at the edge of the hallway, where the walls hold old fingerprints, small shadows, and the kind of quiet that belongs to sleeping rooms. She moves through it carefully, not because the floor is loud, though sometimes it is, but because the hour has changed the weight of every sound. At 11:04, even the smallest movement feels personal. Her sweater sleeves cover both wrists now. They shift when she walks, brushing lightly against the sides of her hands. The fabric is stretched at the cuffs from years of pulling and washing, but tonight that worn-out softness feels less like age and more like loyalty. Something has stayed. Something has become gentle by being used. She pauses outside a bedroom door. The room inside is dark except for a thin strip of light from the hallway. She does not go in all the way. She only leans near enough to hear breathing, slow and uneven in the way sleep sometimes is. A blanket has slipped low. A pillow is turned sideways. Someone will need something in the morning. Someone always does. But not yet. Not in this breath. She stands there with one hand on the doorframe, sleeve folded between her palm and the painted wood. The paint is cool. The fabric is warmer. Her body notices both before her mind knows what to do with them. This is how care often looks at night. Not like a speech. Not like a big sacrifice anyone could point to. It is a person standing near a doorway, listening for the sound that means things are all right enough for now. It is a hand hovering over a doorknob. It is a light left on low. It is remembering who needs the early appointment, who forgot to bring the form home, who has been quieter than usual. So much of it never becomes language. Maybe that is why the room feels able to hold it. The room does not ask her to explain the heaviness in her chest. It does not ask whether she is tired from work or from home or from the quiet scene between the two. It does not need to know which part of the evening made her go still at the porch, or why one sweater sleeve pulled over her wrist could feel like the first kind thing to happen directly to her body all day. It only receives her standing there. There is a gentleness in being received without being questioned. She adjusts the sleeve with her thumb. Not much. Just a small press, the way someone might smooth a corner of a sheet. The cuff has bunched near the heel of her hand. She pulls it down again, slowly, until it covers the wrist bone. The motion is so small it almost disappears. But small things are what the night has left room for. In the dental office, her hands know what to do before she thinks. They pass, wipe, hold, lift, set down. They stay steady under bright lights. They move through the careful rhythm of other people's discomfort. They are useful hands, trained hands, tired hands. At home, they become other kinds of hands. They pick up cups. They tuck blankets. They test a forehead. They pull a door almost closed without letting it click. Now those same hands are hidden a little inside the sleeves. Not gone. Only covered. The hallway is still. Somewhere behind her, the refrigerator starts again, a low sound traveling through the rooms. A car passes outside, quieter now than it was from the porch. The world is still there, but it has moved back. The house seems to draw a softer line around this moment. She takes one more breath near the door. Then she steps away. Not because everything is finished. It is not. The morning is already waiting somewhere beyond sleep, full of small needs and ordinary names. But for now, the hallway remains dim. The room remains quiet. The sleeve remains warm over the wrist. And for a few seconds, nothing needs to be held except the hush. In the kitchen, the light over the stove has been left on. It is not bright enough to fill the room. It only makes a small pool of yellow across the counter, the edge of the sink, the handle of a mug turned toward the wall. Everything else stays in shadow, not hidden, just softened. At this hour, even the dishes look quieter than they did earlier. She stands near the doorway and lets her eyes adjust. There are 2 plates in the sink. A fork rests between them. Someone has folded a paper towel and left it near the faucet as if they meant to come back and wipe the counter. A lunch container sits open, washed but not dried, with a few drops of water shining inside. Tomorrow will notice these things. Tonight does not have to. She walks to the sink anyway, because her body knows the path before she decides. Her sleeve brushes the cabinet door. The cuff slides over the base of her thumb, and she almost pushes it back. That is what she would usually do. Clear the hands. Free the wrists. Get ready to finish one more small task before bed. But she does not push it back. She lets the sleeve stay. Her hand reaches for the faucet, softer than usual, slower than usual. The water starts quietly at first, then steadies into a thin stream. She rinses the fork, watches a small line of soap move across the metal, and feels the warm water through the fabric where the sleeve has come too close. It should bother her. It does not. The damp edge of the cuff touches her skin. Not enough to be uncomfortable. Just enough to remind her that she is still in a body, standing in a kitchen, after a day of holding herself together in rooms that were too bright. At work, the lights are white and direct. The chair moves up and down. The trays are arranged. The mask goes on. The gloves snap lightly at the wrist. There are names on the schedule, notes in charts, small anxieties walking in and sitting down. She has learned to speak calmly while reaching for what is needed. There is a kind of gentleness in that work. There is also a cost. Not a dramatic cost. Not the kind anyone would see from the outside. More like a steady wearing down at the edges, a little less space inside the chest by the end of the day, a little more quiet gathered behind the eyes. She rinses one plate and leaves the other. That is enough for now. The kitchen does not object. The stove light stays low. The refrigerator hums with its plain, faithful sound. Outside, beyond the dark window, the porch and the yard are no longer visible, only a faint reflection of the room looking back at her. In the glass, she sees the sweater first. Not her face. Not the tiredness around her eyes. The sweater. The sleeves are still pulled over both wrists, slightly uneven, soft and ordinary. For some reason, that is easier to look at than herself. The fabric asks nothing. It has no opinion about what got done, what was left, what she could have handled better, what she forgot to say gently enough. It simply covers the wrists that carried the day. She turns off the water. The silence after it feels larger than the sound did. Drops fall once, twice, then stop. Her hand stays near the sink, sleeve darkened a little at the edge. A small wet place. A small proof that she did not have to move perfectly. She takes the dish towel and touches it to the cuff, not really drying it, only pressing once, lightly. The towel is worn thin in the middle. The sleeve is worn loose at the end. 2 tired things meet for a moment under the stove light. And something in her lowers. Not enough to change the evening. Not enough to make the morning easier. Just enough that the kitchen no longer feels like another room waiting for her to perform. It feels like a room letting her stand there. She leaves the second plate in the sink. She leaves the lunch container open. Then she turns from the counter with both sleeves still covering her wrists, carrying less than she carried when she came in. She turns off the stove light, and the kitchen changes at once. The room does not disappear. It simply steps back. The counter becomes a darker shape. The sink becomes a small sound instead of something to look at, one drop falling after another with a long pause between. The lunch container remains open where she left it, but now it belongs to tomorrow. She lets it belong there. The hallway receives her again, dim and narrow, with the kind of quiet that makes a person notice how tired their feet are. She moves slowly, one hand near the wall, not touching it at first. Then her sleeve brushes the paint, and she leaves it there for a second, fabric between skin and house. That is enough contact. Not a hand flat against the wall. Not a need to steady herself. Just a soft passing touch, as if the house and the sweater are both keeping the edge of the evening from becoming too sharp. The living room waits in low shadow. The blanket she folded earlier still rests unevenly on the couch. The receipt remains on the side table. A phone charger lies where someone will look for it in the morning and maybe not find it right away. Nothing has arranged itself into peace. Still, the room feels gentler now. Maybe because she has stopped asking it to become finished. She sits on the edge of the couch, not fully leaning back. Her body does that at first, keeps itself available, as though someone might call from the hallway or the phone might light up or a thought might remember one more thing she forgot. Her knees remain close together. Her hands rest in her lap, wrists hidden inside the sweater sleeves. She looks at them there. The sleeves make her hands look less ready. That almost makes her smile, but not quite. Ready has followed her for years in small, ordinary forms. Ready with the packed bag. Ready with the calendar. Ready with the calm voice at the dental office when a patient grips the armrest. Ready with the reminder written on the back of an envelope. Ready with the question asked before anyone else thinks to ask it. Ready with the hand that reaches for the cup before it falls. No one asks a person to be ready all the time. It just happens. The house grows used to it. Work grows used to it. Family grows used to it. Even the body grows used to standing half a step ahead of itself, listening for what might be needed next. Tonight, the sleeves are not ready. They are soft and slightly stretched. One cuff has a damp place from the sink. The other has a loose thread near the seam. They cover the wrists without making anything better, without explaining anything, without asking her to be grateful in a bright or polished way. They only cover. And something about that feels honest. She lets her hands stay in her lap. For once, they are not holding a tool, a towel, a chart, a handle, a plate, a doorknob, a worry, a sleeping person's quiet need. They are not even folded neatly. They are just there, partly hidden, resting against each other. The room holds this too. The refrigerator hum reaches her from the kitchen. A faint sound moves through the vent. Somewhere outside, a car passes, then fades before she can tell which direction it went. The neighborhood has settled into its late-night distance, porch lights glowing over mailboxes, upstairs windows dark, street trees standing without any need to be noticed. Inside, the house seems to understand the smallness of the moment. It does not praise her. It does not tell her she has done enough. It does not make a speech about tenderness or strength. It lets the quiet be quiet. She lowers her head and looks at the sleeves again. One pulled a little farther than the other. She adjusts them, not to make them perfect, only to feel the fabric move. Matching one sleeve to the other becomes a small, slow thing. A way of letting both sides of the body receive the same gentleness. Left wrist. Right wrist. Softness meeting softness. For a few breaths, that is the whole room. Then her shoulders drop, almost without permission. The breath she has been carrying loosens in the middle of her chest. Not all of it. Just a little. Enough for the couch to feel less like a stop between tasks and more like a place where she has actually sat down. The heavy evening is still somewhere inside her. But it is not the only thing there. There is the sleeve. There is the quiet room. There is the strange relief of not reaching for anything. By the time she reaches the bedroom doorway, the house has become almost completely still. Not silent. Houses are rarely silent, especially at night. There is always something small happening somewhere. Air moving through a vent. Wood answering the cooler dark. Water settling in a pipe. A refrigerator starting and stopping as if it is the last one awake. But the stillness is real. It gathers around her as she stands there, one hand near the light switch, not ready to turn it on. The room ahead is dim enough that the furniture has softened into shapes. The bed. The chair with clothes laid across the back. The small table holding a half-empty glass of water. Nothing looks urgent in this light. Even the things left undone seem less certain of themselves. She steps inside. The carpet feels different from the kitchen floor. Quieter. Warmer. Her feet notice before her mind does. She closes the door halfway, leaving it open just enough to hear the house if it needs her. That opening is familiar. A small gap for caregiving. A small gap for mourning. A small gap for the part of her that never fully stops listening. She does not resent it tonight. She only notices it. The sweater sleeves are still pulled over her wrists. They have traveled with her through the doorway, the living room, the hallway, the kitchen, and back again. One cuff is faintly damp. The other has loosened enough to cover part of her hand. In the low room, they look like something ordinary and faithful, something that never announced itself and yet stayed near the whole time. She sits on the edge of the bed. The mattress gives under her carefully, as if it knows not to rush her. She places both hands on her knees. For a while, she does not take off the sweater. She does not reach for pajamas. She does not check the phone. She does not make one more list in her head. She sits. The day is still in her shoulders. It is in the back of her neck, in the careful places around her eyes, in the wrists that have been washed and gloved and used and kneaded. It is in the quiet part of the chest where unfinished things often go at night. But the room does not pull those things out. It lets them be carried less tightly. Through the half-open door, the hallway light makes a thin line on the floor. She watches it for a moment. It is such a small thing, that line of light, but it makes the room feel connected to the rest of the house. Not trapped away from it. Not responsible for all of it. Just connected. Someone breathes down the hall. The sound is faint, but she hears it. That is enough. There are many ways love hides inside an ordinary evening. It hides in checking whether someone is covered. It hides in setting a bag down quietly. It hides in leaving one plate for tomorrow and not turning that into failure. It hides in the way a person keeps a door open just enough. Tonight, it also hides in a sleeve. She looks down at her wrists again. Both covered. Both warm. The fabric has no memory of all the rooms her hands passed through today. It does not know the names on the schedule, the nervous laugh from the last patient, the grocery reminder, the cup moved away from the edge, the blanket lifted from the floor. It only knows how to rest where it has been pulled. And maybe that is why it feels so kind. It does not keep score. She breathes in, and the breath is plain. No sudden peace. No beautiful answer. Just air moving through a tired body at the edge of sleep. Just a woman sitting in a dim room before anyone else wakes, before the next responsibility finds its voice, before the morning begins asking for her hands again. For now, they are covered. For now, they are still. She lifts one sleeve slightly with the fingers of the other hand, then lets it fall back over the wrist. The movement is almost nothing. But it lands somewhere deep, below language, in the place where the body understands gentleness before the mind can explain it. The room holds what words cannot. And this time, she lets herself be held by it. The sweater comes off only after the room has settled around her. She does not fold it right away. She lays it across the chair, one sleeve hanging lower than the other, the cuff still turned slightly inward from where it had rested over her wrist. In the dimness, it looks less like clothing and more like something that stayed close when the evening had no words left. The house keeps breathing. A small sound moves in the wall. The glass of water catches a thin line of hallway light. Somewhere down the hall, sleep continues without knowing how carefully it has been protected. She sits on the edge of the bed a moment longer. Her wrists feel bare now, but not abandoned. The softness has not vanished all at once. It remains in the skin for a little while, the way warmth remains after a hand leaves a mug, or after a porch door closes and the night air is still remembered. Nothing has been solved. The sink still holds one plate. The lunch container is still open. Morning will come with its small requests, its names, its sounds, its practical needs. But for now, there is this. A chair. A sweater. A sleeve hanging quietly in the dark. And a tired woman at the edge of sleep, feeling, without needing to say it clearly, that gentleness had found one small place to stay. Not loudly. Not forever. Just long enough for the room to soften around her.